My online card class this month uses the Snowflake Wishes suite. I love this suite. It is gorgeous and I've had so much fun playing with it. I'm a snow person anyway, but this was fun. I did a lot of things with it. It consists of a snowflakes stamp set, and I love this May Your Season Sparkle. I've used that a lot. They also have a Happy Hanukkah in here, which I think is interesting for those that need it. I use the Snowflake Wishes also, and I ink it up with my marker and not for a Merry Christmas. And then Our Friendship is One of a Kind. I haven't used the Coldest Moments of the Year one yet. So I've used that a lot. And then the dies that go with it are fun. There's a bunch of snowflakes and there's one missing. Oh, because I've got it out, I'm going to use it. And then there's another one. It's actually this die here, which cuts out an image and snowflakes. So I'm using that one tonight that I've used a lot also. So I love it. This one does not cut out snowflakes. It cuts out pieces in the cardstock. So if you have like glitter paper or something underneath, it'll show through. So there's the dies. And then this is the paper. I love it when they put blue and purple together for snowflakes. It's just, to me, gorgeous. So we've got that paper. There's an embossing folder that's really fun to play with. They've got the balmy blue glitter paper. And then this is the ribbon. And I didn't tie a bow because I wanted you to see the colors on it. Now this is on black and I will be using it tonight on white, but it's like mesh, for lack of a better term. And then we've got the 2 or the 4 different, they're gems, but there's 2 different ones on the card. And some of them have a dark blue, greenish look to them, and some have the light blue look to them. Let me pull it up. I don't know where to put it. Okay, hold on. There. And you can see, which I love, the fact that there's 2 different colors there. So there's that. And I've got a sneak peek. These are the cards we're going to be doing. I can't wait. I just love this set. All right, now, here's the first card we're going to do. All right. I'm going to show you how to do this because several people have asked me how you do it. What you do first, I got to separate all my pieces here, is you take the stitched shape framelits, and I use the 3 from the middle out. I didn't use the largest one on this one. A lot of people think, well, how do you get that thing put together? It actually takes 2 sets. So you have to have 2 large ones of this and 2 large ones of this. And then I use this same one for the middle, but depending on where I cut it, I got different looks. And then you need a small one of this and a small one of this. So that's how you have to start. If you use 4, then you have to, I kind of rotated the colors for it to work. So I'm going to start with this one on the bottom, and the next one is this, and it goes on like this, even with the top and this edge. And I'm going to use glue dots just because it's easier right now. Well, I think I'm going to use glue dots. I don't want to cooperate. These are sticking for some reason. They don't want to pop off, no matter what technique I use. All right, so you add that first one, like so, and the middle one. Then you take the little one, oops, wrong one. Then you take the little one and you add it on top. I'm just going to use one glue dot in hopes that I can get it off. And again, it goes even with the edge and the side. So you've got the first one. I found it easier to work the opposite way. So this one goes on like so, and it's right about the middle. The next one.
Robbie, you're working off camera.
Oh, thanks. Sorry.
That's all right.
That's why I don't like it. See, did you guys understand what I was saying with all this?
Yes.
Okay, so we've got that. Then you want to take this one and it goes in the middle. This one goes over here. So it's on the opposite side. And I found it easier to set it up this way. If I get off camera again, let me know. That's why I don't like it in the portrait position. Right. So there's that one. And then you put this last one on top. And now you have your two pieces and you're ready to put it together on your card. So I'm going to set those there. I took that snowflake embossing folder and I embossed a piece of Whisper White. I wanted it mounted on my glitter paper, which we don't have anymore, but I love this stuff, so I used it. I know we all probably have a ton of it, but you don't want to put it on here and waste all that inside. So what I did was I found my 1/2-inch mark and I used my cutting blade and I started at a 1/2 inch and I went down to where it was a 1/2 inch before the end. I flipped it around, 1/2 inch mark, back up to my 1/2 inch at the top, and I'm going to stop a 1/2 inch from the bottom. Flip it again, 1/2 inch mark, start at the top, come down a 1/2 inch before the bottom, and then you're going to do your last one the same way. Start at the top and come down a 1/2 inch. All right. What that does is it cuts out the center because nobody's going to see this. It's hidden under here. So now you have this piece that you can use for something else. This goes on top and nobody will know that there's nothing underneath there. And I'm going to put it on with glue dots because I have found glue dots will stick to the glitter paper. And I've not had success with other things. The glue gives way. I have not tried the seal, so I don't know. But I know this works, so I'm going to use this. And I just put some glue dots around the edge. I'm going to put this down on here like so. All right. The next step is I'm going to take this half of my circle. Before I put this down, I wanted to show you, I saw a card today. Most of the cards I've seen have been done like this, but I saw a card today where they did it like that. So you can kind of change it around and put it where you want it to be. So I'm going to take the backs off. It looks, I could not find a, right now I want to have a pretty good idea of where the middle is. I could not find a video on how to do this. I figured this out by looking at it. Not an easy feat, because I had it all figured out and then I realized it's not matching up. My circles aren't matching. So that's when I realized you need opposite. You need a large and a small of this. This one I kept the same, and a large and small of that to do this. And once I got it figured out, It's nice. And the advantage is you get 2 cards from each time you do, each thing you do. All right, now when you put this down, you want to match up this one with this edge, this here, and that there, so that it looks like a swirl. And this one looks funny because of the fact that it's 2 different colors. It's out of the same pack, but it just depended on where you cut it. So there's the, I don't know what you call it, the shape, for lack of a better term. And then what you need to do is you need to hide this in some form. I did one where I put an image here, and then I put a die cut word over this. That edge doesn't want to. This one I decided to put ribbon over top, and this is that ribbon from that suite. And I decided to use the ribbon because I didn't want to put a sentiment over top. I will tell you, this ribbon is the same as the black glitter one. It doesn't like to stick to anything. So what I did was I took my backs off. I cut another piece. I took this, I put it across so it was covering that spot, folded it down, held it in place, and then put another piece on top. Because what happens is when you go to put this one down, this one releases, and before you know it, you're back and forth, back and forth. So I just stick it down so it won't release. All right. I'm gonna do the back of that. This I'm gonna put on a Night of Navy card base. I use 3 different colored papers or backgrounds so that you can see this with different card stocks. These are all in there. Come on. Okay. I found out I have a heavy hand, which probably doesn't help. I have to use a really light hand, but this one flipped back on me. And that's what I have more issue with than anything else, is I get the strings and then it flips back. See, I got a string there and I've got to break it, because if you don't, it gets inside and messes it up. See, there's another one. So I break them and then I'll get a rhythm going and it works. But I've been trying really hard to have a light hand. All right, so take my sides off here. And you can add a sentiment if you want on this. I used a 1-inch circle and I punched out the 1-inch circle with it, and it's a little cockeyed there. I was a little close to the edge and it didn't punch real carefully. And I wanted some interest, so I'm going to use my Pacific Point, and I'm just going to ink up the edge of this.
You're off camera again.
Ah, thanks. See, I can't get used to the fact that it's... Okay, so I've got it inked up. This I'm going to put on with a dimensional. All right. And that's going to help hold that ribbon in place also. All right, so I put that down on there. I then took a piece of Pacific Point and die cut one of the tiny snowflakes in there. And I'm going to add it to the center. And then to finish it off, I'm going to add some of the gems, and I use the lighter blue. So let's see. I think I used the small ones, but oh, I put one in the center of here. And that's when I thought, it needs something else. Now you don't have to if you want. You could easily spray this with shimmer spray. I pulled out mine to use it a lot. It's not working too good. So I have to make some new shimmer spray. Okay, so there it is. And I love this technique. And like I said, you could do another one and it makes it bigger. So there's card one.
Pretty.
Oh, I forgot my, I added a snowflake over here to kind of hide that line. And I just did it with a glue dot, but I again used some of that glitter paper, the clear glitter paper that we used to have. I don't know why these glue dots don't want to come off. I may have to use my pokey tool to lift things off. So I just added that on there. And there it is.
Pretty.
So there's card one. All right. Card two is this one. And there's my measurements. Let me get some of this stuff out of the way so I don't pick it up again. This is the die, and I started with a piece of Snowflake Wishes DSP, and I wanted it to have the two colors. So I used the die and I cut it out. When you cut it out, it gives you this piece also. That's where the third card came in. So I'm going to show you the third card that I did with this. So I'm going to throw that away. So when you cut this out, don't get rid of that piece. Save it. You can make another card. All right, so I started with this, and I see I got a couple of spots where that I didn't poke out. Got them. Got them now. All right, this one was a clean and simple one. I took a piece of Whisper White, and I cut it 1/8 of an inch smaller than this. So this is 3 5/8 by 4 7/8. And what I did was I went all around the edge very carefully, like so. And I took my time and made sure I'm getting to the end too, which doesn't help with this roll. All right. So you're just gonna add some glue, and it's not working for me. I'm still not sold on that. So I'll go back to my glue. I really wanted it to work because it's so much easier to use than the glue. I get glue all over my hands and then I have a mess. All right, so I just put a little bit of glue all around the edge, and I took my paper and I turned it to the wrong side. I'm gonna move it over, give me a minute. And I just laid this down so that there was a border all the way around. And the reason I did that is our card is Highland Heather. If I'd have put that down, the Highland Heather would have been in there and you wouldn't have been able to see the sentiment. So I did that for that reason. And I took my sentiment and my Highland Heather ink, and I stamped my sentiment, which says, "Our friendship is one of a kind," which I just love for this stamp set because snowflakes are one of a kind. I stamped that in the center. And I'm going to fold my card base. Right, and then I'm going to add this to my card base. And then to dress it up a little bit, it's almost empty. I took that same ribbon and I love blues and purples at with snowflakes. I don't know why. This ribbon is not an easy ribbon to tie because it's stiff. So you really have to play with it. And I did not include this ribbon in my class for that very reason. I figured it would frustrate people.
What if you burnish it, Robbie, with your bone folder?
Oh, let me find out. I don't know if it's going to work because now see, it's really stiff ribbon. Did you do that? Were you able to do that, Betty Ann, or don't you have this ribbon?
I've got it, but I haven't used it yet.
Yeah, it's stiff. So you got to play with it. All right.
Pretty good.
Yeah, it is pretty. I love it, but and I'm gonna fix my ends.
Is it raveling?
No, it did when I burnished it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, when I burnished it, it did. It doesn't. Yeah, it does kind of. So, but I opted not to use it in class. In the class, I just thought, nah, too frustrating for people. All right, and this bow does not look as good as the other one. All right, I'm gonna, there, that looks better. I pulled that one piece down. All right, so there's my bow. And how many of you still have these left? These are those snowflake ones from like 3 years ago.
I don't.
Oh, I have all of these, and I found, you know, the ones that used to dangle? I had 2 of these of those. So I did find that this did not want to stick to this and get pulled up, but I think it's the glue dots. And I have to tell you, these are Stampin' Up! Glue dots, so it shouldn't be doing that. When I get them from Michael's, the same thing. They don't do this. So I just added that down there for a little bit of extra bling, and there's the next card.
I love the blue and purple together.
Yes. Yeah. And
Looks-
now,
I like the way the white is underneath of the DSP.
yeah. All right. Then, if you remember, we had that one piece left. So I decided to use it and make this card.
Oh, that's cute.
So there's our measurements. Get this one out of the way. And all of these will be on the blog, on the Facebook page, because I have it already uploaded, ready to go. All right, so
On the blog.
I started with a piece of Highland Heather that's 3 3/4 by 5. And I'm gonna pull in a piece of scrap paper here so I can take, and I wanted something on the background of this. And I did spray this and this. You couldn't see it. I don't know if you can see it, but I did spray it with shimmer spray. But like I said, my shimmer spray wasn't working very well. It didn't like me. So I got to make some new. It might just be old. And I didn't think it would do that. Oops, I forgot my stamp. So I used the stamps from that set. Let me make sure I'm in camera. And I stamped it all over. Oh, I didn't use this. Dang. I didn't use it. I used Versamark. Flip it over. Because I wanted it subtle. So that's the reason why I used Versamark. So I stamped it all over and kind of rotate this. I wasn't going to do the whole thing, but what I found is if I didn't, this shape is so odd that it wouldn't have worked. So I just did the whole thing. All right, and then there's that. And so I just thought as you can see, it's a little bit subtler than the same tone on tone one. So I went with that. Let's flip this around. I hadn't used Versamark as a background in a while. Have any of you been using it lately?
No,
I forget about it. And then it was like, oh, I'll use Versamark. And then I kind of went back and filled in spots where it needed some on the edges. There's a spot there, and there. It doesn't lend itself for this very well, but all right, that's good. All right, so now that I've got that done, I'm going to take my piece of DSP and I'm going to put it right in the middle. And I think I went this way, so I'll flip it around. And so, you know, when you cut that piece out, save it. I mean, it makes a great card. Interest. And I did check to see, because these are snowflakes, I went, ooh, wouldn't that be cool if you could pop out, cut out, die cut snowflakes to go in there? I couldn't find any in the dies that would go in there. They're either too far apart or whatever. So it was like, well, somebody messed up on that one.
yeah, they weren't thinking, were they?
No.
Must have been a man.
All right, and I'm going to add this to a Whisper White card base. Okay. I'm just going to stick it on there and center it. And then what I did was I took 3, and I've got them on here somewhere, 3 snowflakes. There's the second one. There's the third one. And I die cut those out of that same glimmer paper. So see how that middle piece you can use to make all these pieces? Oh, this is the one that doesn't have much in it. And I added this by just putting a dot on the larger portions of the snowflake to stick them down. I've got glue on my finger, it's sticking to my finger. Right. And I'm not even squeezing this and it comes out, so. And I decided to put one up here. And then I used 2 down here. Oops, I almost lost that one on the floor. That would not have been good. Well, doesn't help if it comes off on your hand too. All right. There's my 3 snowflakes. And I took the snowflake wishes and I cut a piece of cardstock that I do not see. Oh no, it's gone. Hang on, let me I'll get a scrap. I know I cut that and I even stamped it. Where did it go?
Gremlin's got it.
Yeah. Well, daggone. Because I stamped it and cut it and everything, so it would be ready to go. But this isn't wide enough. This is, and I'll cut it down. I have found that with the photopolymer, if you've not used them before, the markers don't work real well on them. So stamp with them a bit, and then you can color it with your marker. You don't have that issue with the red rubber, but the photopolymer doesn't like the marker till it's kind of, I guess you'd say, gotten dirty some. Hopefully.
Got to get it primed.
Yeah. All right, and I love it because I can turn it over and see if I've missed anything. All right, got it. All right, so I'm going to stamp that there. And you may think it's blotchy, but it turns out, I mean, it's not a clear image like the red rubber, but it's close enough. All right, now let me cut this down real quick. I'll find that piece after we're done here tonight. I'll bet you. The minute I sign off, it'll show up. That's always the case. Okay. And then I'm going to add this with some dimensionals. Me and my dimensionals, I know. I love those dimensionals. I just put 3 down this, you know, 1 on each end and 1 in the middle. And I just put it straight in the center. So I just can't see throwing that paper away. All right, and there's my snowflake wishes, like so. And there it is.
Very good.
Love the colors.
Yes. So there's that one, there's that one, and here's the other one. So there are the 3 cards. I can't see that other one. I'll move it.
There you go.
There.